Well, Fox 31 is your local election headquarters, and the race for the U.S. Senate is heating up. Democratic Senator Michael Bennet is up for re-election this fall, and the Cook Political Report recently changed the rating for his race from solid Democrat, downgrading it to likely Democrat. Now, that's President Joe Biden's plummeting poll numbers, and Republicans think they have a shot at winning that seat. That's why Florida Senator Rick Scott, the chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, is here in Colorado meeting with the chair of the state GOP, Christy Burton Brown. They both join me live from Greenwood Village. Thank you for being here. Senator, the fact that you're here the week after the primary ballot is set says something about this race. Why do you think a Republican can win it, and how much money is the NRSC willing to spend to make that happen here?
This is an important race for us. We're going to be investing in Colorado, and here's why we're going to win. You said it. Joe Biden's numbers are plummeting. Michael Bennet does not have good, favorable ratings right now in the state. He basically lives in D.C. He doesn't live in Colorado. He's not representing the state. He's voted against energy security and energy independence. Hurts a lot of jobs in Colorado. He's voted for unbelievable spending, which causes inflation. He's voted against border security. So you look at his votes, it's not good for Coloradans. Republicans are energized in Colorado, and we have a great party chair. Christy's going to do a great job. I think we're going to have a great year. And we've got two great candidates that will be on the ballot on the Republican side, and we're going to win.
Let's talk about those two candidates who are on the primary ballot. They're basically at opposite ends of the spectrum here. State Representative Ron Hanks believes the 2020 election was stolen. He was at the Capitol when the January 6th riot happened. Then there's Joe O'Dea, a very moderate Republican who has said he would vote for the bipartisan infrastructure plan. Nationally, there's been a lot of talk about the GOP getting candidates who are electable in the general election. So to both of you, who do you think is more electable of those two?
Well, you know, Matt, I think electability is exactly the question. And that's what Republicans across Colorado will get to decide on the primary ballot in June. We need to choose the Republican who is going to send Michael Bennet packing. Michael Bennet is a rubber stamp for the Biden agenda, and the Biden agenda is deeply unpopular here in Colorado. So Republican primary voters will choose that in June, and we'll go on to defeat Michael Bennet.
Will the state GOP endorse one of the two candidates and the same senator with the NRSC?
The state GOP has to remain neutral in primaries and build the right operation to bring our eventual candidate to victory in November.
And what about the
NRSC is not going to endorse. No, we're not going to endorse. We've got two very good candidates, but look, the voters of Colorado are going to choose the person that they want to represent them, and I know one of those individuals is going to be the next U.S. Senator. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we win this seat. I'll be back here working hard to make sure we win. But Joe Biden's helping us every day with this unbelievable inflation. You know, 8.5% CPI. Look at the PPI numbers way up. Look at, you know, the Biden administration and Michael Bennet are doing nothing to make us energy independent, nothing to get inflation down, nothing to secure the border. I mean, it's like nothing to fix the supply chain, and Michael Bennet is part of it. And that's not what Coloradans want.
Is that enough to change the tide of what's been happening in elections here in Colorado? No Republican has won a statewide election since 2018. Republicans have lost 43,000 registered voters here, and 4 years ago. And Cory Gardner lost to John Hickenlooper by 10% 2 years ago. How do you change that? That's a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, you know, Matt, we are going to see that change in 2022. Voters across the board in Colorado, we do have 43% of unaffiliated voters. They are tired of Democrat control of Colorado for the last decade. They have seen inflation hit harder in the Denver metro area than across the nation. A crime wave due to Michael Bennet's rubber stamp of Joe Biden's open border policies, and our kids are dying at their desks in high schools because of the drugs that are crossing the border. Michael Bennet is letting all of this happen, and voters are mad, and they're going to get Democrats out of office in November.
Look at the Youngkin race.
Lastly, you and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell have clashed recently, particularly about an agenda you released that includes tax hikes for some Americans. Are you at all concerned that the fracturing that some say is happening in the nationwide GOP could hurt Republican Senate candidates, especially in a swing state like Colorado?
Well, we're all focused on one thing, making sure we get a majority in the Senate. Everybody is focused on that. But let's go back for a second. Let's look at the Glenn Youngkin race. Biden won that state a year ahead of time by 10 points, and then we won the governor's race. So that's going to go all across the country. We almost won the governor's race in New Jersey. And look at these school board races. Republicans are winning all across the country. So I think we're going to have a big win here because Biden's numbers are bad. We have good candidates. and Michael Bennet is not representing the interests of Colorado. Now, with regard to what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the issues that matter to people. And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure we have an agenda going forward, and we're united. We are very focused on winning Colorado.
It'll be an interesting few months. The primary is June 28th. Florida Senator Rick Scott, State GOP Chair Christy Burton Brown, thanks for being here. I appreciate it very much.